Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kade, and in this video we're gonna be continuing with the 100 things that I love about Finland series. I already worked on parts 1, 2, and 3, so if you have not seen them yet, I am gonna leave a link to the playlist in the part above. But if you have already seen those, or if you just wanna watch this video, then I'll invite to keep on watching. So this is part 4 of the 100 things that I love about Finland. You know that my videos are usually quite long, so if you do want to jump to a specific part of the video, just go to the description below and there's gonna be like timestamps so that you can just go to your favorite part. Or if you are doing whatever thing you have time, maybe you're cleaning or whatever, and I am just like, you know, talking in the back part, then I'll just invite to keep up listening or to keep up watching. So the 56th thing that I love about Finland, it's the high school graduation parties and the graduation hat. And it's that, you know, I come from Mexico, so obviously like during the graduation parties, we usually get these black square type of hat. And when I came to Finland and I actually saw the type of hat that people use during their high school graduation, I was literally in love. I don't exactly know if this hat is kind of like a marine hat or what is it, but I love it. I studied the International Baccalaureate in Finland. I graduated from high school in Finland, so I do have mine, and it looks something like this. So basically you do get this type of hat. I'm gonna come a little bit like more near to the screen so you can see it, but you do get this kind of hat when you graduate. And for example, mine has this specific symbol because I studied in the International Baccalaureate. People who study in the national sites, so in the like normal high school in Finland, get a different type of symbol here in this part of the hat. But because I studied in the International Baccalaureate, then it has its own. And so yeah, the first thing that I love about that, it's like the hat that you get, the graduation hat. And the thing is that in Finland there's this tradition that you get this hat if you graduated from high school. Because for example, if you studied the vocational college in Finland, you do not get the similar type of hat. Like if you ever see people in Finland wearing this type of hat, it means that they graduated in Finland. And then you can just check this small circle in the top and you can just see, did they study in the International Baccalaureate or did they study in the national side in high school. So that's something like that I found super interesting. Also, when you graduate from high school, it's typical that you do get your hat, but also you get this symbol like this I think in Finnish it's called lyra. I don't know what's in English, but you get it for your hat. And also you get like a small like type of like pin one that you can just wear like this, but this is meant for your mom. And so what I love about like Finnish celebrations, okay, what I don't like is that the celebration, I feel that the celebration at school, it's quite a normal celebration. I mean, compared to the huge celebrations and parties and dances that we make in Mexico that are really like, you know, party and drinks and everyone together and, you know, like the night dresses and those kind of things. We didn't have it here. But in Finland, it's a little bit different. Like people do not celebrate all together their graduation, but once they graduate, usually like after like the ceremony where you get your hat and everything, it's in the morning. And then after the ceremony, there's usually every single person on that specific day, they do have their own graduation party. So like right after the ceremony, you go to your graduation party, and into this specific graduation party, like all of your family members, neighbors, maybe like other types of friends, relatives are invited. And something that I love and that I found super interesting is that it seems that graduating from high school is like the big thing in Finland. Like in Mexico, like kind of like I think like everything is like a big thing, but especially when you graduate from your bachelor's, that's like a very big thing. But the type of party that people organize for high school graduates in Finland, I feel that it's like really mind-blowing. And family members and all the guests to the parties, they usually bring a flower, a card, and usually if it's not a present, they usually give you money. And the amount of money that graduates are able to receive, it's like it's out of this world. I was like, whoa, seriously? Like myself, and as a foreigner, when I graduated from high school, obviously like all of my family, it's in Mexico. I do have Finnish host families, and my fourth Finnish family organized for me a graduation party. And like, just, I'll put it in this way that I think that I got, like, first of all, I got a lot of cards. Then I also got a lot of presents. I also got a lot of roses, in my opinion. And I got, I think, was it like almost like 400 euros that I got as present from all the, some people give you 50, some people give you hundreds, some other people give you 20s. And considering that, like, I do not have kind of like my own blood type of family in Finland, I thought that was like big amount. And actually, like, Finns, from the experiences and the stories that I've heard from my friends, like, it's so common that like in their graduation parties, they would get like over 1,000 euros, 2,000 euros, 3,000 euros. Like, the amount of money that they are able to collect, it's huge. And that was something that really, really surprised me, but also that I really, really do love. And also, like, about the hat, before I forget it, this is something that you use obviously during your graduation party, but then also you get to use it every 1st of May. So 30th of April, 1st of May. So 1st of May, it's the Vappu celebration in Finland. Which it's like a huge celebration, and every single person who has graduated from high school, every 1st of May, you can see people like going out and actually wearing your hat. And I think that's something so beautiful, because it means that you get to receive this hat when you graduate from high school, but also like you will be able to use the same hat for like the rest of, you know, every single 1st of May during the rest of your life, which I think it's like so pretty, because obviously, like, if I compare it again to Mexico, you do get your hat, actually not all the time, because usually like those pictures, it's actually like you just rent the you know, the hat and the black kind of like thing with the nice kind of like things that I don't even know how those are called in Finland, but you get the point. If you have seen kind of like American movies and with the black kind of thing and the square, then you know what I'm talking about. And usually, actually, we don't even own those. I don't know if in other countries you actually buy your own, but at least in Mexico, in my own experience, we always rented for the picture. Then we got the picture, and then it was like, oh, yeah, here you go. Thank you very much. And I love, like, here, like, it's not like a full uniform or like a full dress. It's the hat, but the hat, in my opinion, it's super beautiful. And you get to use it like at least once a year during the rest of your life. So yeah, that's the 56 that I love about Finland. And now let's move to the number 57. And that is the overalls in university. And of course, the thing is that you first get the hat in high school, but then when you go to university, each field has its own color of overalls. And for example, I studied in Savonia University of Applied Sciences, which is the University of Applied Sciences, which one of the campuses it's in Kuopio, in the city of Kuopio. I studied international business, and my overalls were pink. And I love them. But for example, like these overalls, the color changes according to the field in which you are studying. So I have pink, but for example, engineers have yellow, and nurses have purple. And now that I am studying in my master's degree, I am studying in something that in Finnish would be called like kaupatiete, which basically translates something as in the business field. And since I am in the business field, the color of my overall is kind of like wine color. I'm gonna add some pictures here. And the thing is that you get these overalls when you start university, and you have these like baptism with your overall, and it gets like really crazy. Like a lot of people actually, the idea or the tradition for as far as I know, is that once you have your overall, you actually do not wash your overall like ever, or at least during the duration of your studies. And overalls, it's one of the funnest parts that I think like Finland has in terms of university and in terms of, you know, parties and just like having fun. Because when you go to parties or during the 1st of May celebrations, people that have the hat from their high school like wear the hat, but they also wear their overall during student parties, and also of course during Vappu, which is the celebration of the 1st of May. And depending on the type of color that they are wearing, it means that it's a specific field. And then depending on the events that they go, they can get the specific like badges, and they just have to like sew them in their overall. And I think that's like just such a beautiful idea. I enjoyed so much having my own overall. The first time that I like look at those, I was like, seriously, that's ugly. That was my sincere opinion. But actually, the more I lived in Finland, the more I went into the student life, I was like, oh my God, that's actually like so sweet that really when you go out, when you walk around, like all the elder people or graduates, or even like people that are not yet in university, they do recognize you. They're like, oh my God, these are like the guys from university, and these are like the type of parties, and you can connect with people from your own field, and you can like recognize like, you know, who is who and who's from where. And I think I just really feel that there's something like really beautiful on that. And I really like it. So the 55, 56, the 57th thing that I love about Finland, it's the student parties. And this goes like, honestly, I've just loved the student parties since high school, because as I said, I studied in the International Baccalaureate. So we did organize, like we were a small group. I think that at the beginning we were 20 persons, and then ultimately we graduated 20 or 25 we were in the beginning. Ultimately we graduated like 12 or 13, I think 13 of us. So yeah, we were a small group, but you know, in the International Baccalaureate, at least in Kuopio, it worked in a way that we have our own parties. So like national side, they probably organize their own parties. I actually didn't speak much Finnish at the time, so I couldn't understand for the most part. But the international side, we have like similar to what we had in university. We also had our baptism, where we had like, we wore diapers in our heads, and people like paint things in our cheeks, and it was super fun. And that's like similar to what we had in university, but in university, the baptism, it kind of like, it happened when we got our overalls, and basically it involved like having this kind of like going to your knees and swearing some type of like few things. I don't remember because it was in Finnish. And yeah, unfortunately it wasn't finished, so I did like mumble some things, but I wasn't sure what I was saying. I was just like, yeah. But the thing is that it was fun, and then there was like, you know, kind of like a circle where like people would throw like alcohol to you. And during the baptism, and also during like the first weeks of university, all the, you know, like first years are taken to this kind of like city tour that it's organized by the student unions. And there's like in each stop there's kind of like a game or a challenge, and the games and the parties would be like so crazy. Like, first of all, I think that in Finland there's kind of like these common agreement or common knowledge that on a specific dates and on specific occasions, they know that when you go to the university, it's like you will be drinking, and like the drinking culture and the drinking part, it's kind of like, it goes kind of like hand in hand with it, which of course, like for example, I studied in an international program, so sometimes, you know, some internationals came with the feeling that, oh my God, really, like, do I have to drink when I am being part of the parties? And the answer is no, you do not have to. But the drinking part, at least for the Finnish students, it's kind of like it goes hand in hand with the parties, or at least that's how I have felt myself. And the parties can go like super crazy, because it's always, I feel like Finnish people open themselves more easily when they are a little bit tipsy, and they are like super friendly also. Then I think that that's kind of like the way in which a lot of the shyness kind of like disappears, and Finnish people get to be like so fun and so friendly when they are drunk. I think that absolutely, like, you can also make like great friends without the alcohol involved, but I feel that that helps Finnish people to open themselves more. And that's something that's like quite involved during the student parties at the university. And in these specific parties where I told that there's like stops in different places, I think that one of the biggest shocks that I had in Finland was that, you know, how much like people embrace and, you know, just like they feel so confident with their body. Because I feel like one of the most common games that I found when I started my bachelor's was this kind of like game where you just had to make a line with your clothes. So basically you just had to undress. And every single team had to undress, and the more clothes you could put in a line, kind of like it was the team that would win. And like you would just see your classmates that probably you don't really like know, just go like, you know, being in underwear in the middle of the city as they are like playing, and that's kind of like normal. And the first time that I had that experience, I was like, ooh, like I don't think this is like for me. But eventually, as I got more into the Finnish culture, when I started my master's degree and I had the same time of welcome and baptism and everything, I was like, you know what, count me in. So student parties, it's something that really made the core of my student experience. Obviously, I also was working as I was studying, so I wasn't the kind of person that would attend to every single party, but I do feel that I attended enough parties to enjoy the fun of the parties, but also maybe not enough to feel entirely my overall with those kind of like nice badges. But anyways, I love student parties, and that's why I wanted to like put it on in this video. And that's also one of the reasons that I wanted to maybe like open up a little bit more of, you know, what happens in these type of university parties. So the 59th thing that I love about Finland are student unions. And I think that, well, first of all, it's that I have already talked about how each field has its own overall color, depending, of course, on their field. But then there's also the student unions. And something that I love about Finland, it's just the concept of a student union. Because as a student, when you go to your second year, you're able to like actually become part of the specific student union of your own field or of the student union of your own university. And student unions are basically like the groups that are responsible for, you know, first overseeing all the activities for students. They are also take care of like the tutoring, and they take care of kind of like the interests of students are kind of like represented at a university level. And each university, each field has its own student union, and then each university has also its own student union. And then when you see it in the bigger picture, then there's like I don't know how to call it, but this is kind of like the mother organization of all the student unions, and the student unions of each university kind of like meet together and discuss things at a national level, which when I actually like learned and understood how things work, I was like, psh. Student unions also like it's through them that you actually get students get the student cards and all of the student discounts. So I think that's like really, really, really cool. And personally, I was part of the board of the student union of my university, and I loved it. I was specifically responsible, because I didn't speak Finnish, I was responsible for the international issues, and I was able to, you know, give international tutor training, and I was able to develop some of the like, you know, cool things with one of my friends, classmates, that was also like in the board. And we were able to like, you know, this was her idea, but we were able to like bring into the university the kids. So it's like kids that would be given to exchange students, so that when they come as an exchange student, you can get at least, you know, the survival kits that you would have, maybe some sheets for your bed, and, you know, some plates and some toilet paper, and these kind of like things that would allow you to survive, like forks, knives, spoons. And we were able to do that actually through being in the board of the student union. I was more responsible of the tutoring part, but I love actually just being in the whole, you know, in all of the discussions, learning of, you know, how maybe I was discussing about tutoring stuff, and my friend was, you know, overseeing things about the survival kits, and then maybe some other people were taking care of the bigger events. And I feel that it's such a beautiful thing that student unions exist, because they serve as organizations that not only support and arrange things for students, but it actually gives students the opportunity to volunteer and take on these positions that, at least for me, it served as a way to actually, you know, do a lot of the things that allowed me to gain experience and to develop like further, and to also learn about, you know, how things work in the bigger picture, and to actually, you know, have a place where I know that the voice of my classmates and my own voice would be heard, and just to know that I have a place where I can influence the way things are and the way things can be done. And I just think it's just so much fun. It's not just about the parties, it's about all of the beautiful things that you get to develop, so that the students and exchange students and yourself can have, like, you know, a better experience during the university years. The 60th thing that I love about Finland, it's the fact that women are able to wear whatever they want, and they can just like feel safe in their clothes, and they get to feel safe in their body. And I guess that for a lot of, like, if you are like a Finnish woman or a Finnish guy watching this video, you might be like, wait, Kade, like, why do you love that about Finland? Like, shouldn't that be kind of like quote unquote normal? And the reality is that, yeah, you know, exactly, it should be normal. But the fact is that, for example, when I was in Mexico, I had to like really be careful with how I was dressing depending on the place that I was being. And something that, like, for example, I'll just give you an example so that you can maybe understand what I am telling a little bit better. When if I would wear like a mini skirt in Mexico, or if I would wear like nicer type of clothes, maybe some high heels or something, you would always like walk, if you were walking alone or just walking with some girlfriends, there would always be the guy or the group of guys who would tell you something, or who would like whistle to you, like, or that would like tell you like, mamacita, or that would tell you like, Sss. And like, you know, it's all these kind of like uncomfortable things that it just makes you feel uncomfortable. And sometimes it unfortunately can even put yourself in risk. And in Mexico, this is something like super sad, because a lot of times when women are kind of like abused, or when they are like, you know, not respected, or when something happens to them, or well, you know, type of like, you know, horrible things that can happen. Like, unfortunately, a lot of times what the people say, it's like, well, you know, like, did you saw how the woman was dressed? Like, she wanted this to happen to her. Like look at her, she obviously wanted to be seen. And this was this kind of like narrative that I had in my head as I was growing up. I had to be ready to either dress how I wanted and dress nicely, and, you know, wear mini skirts and maybe like wear high heels, and be prepared to hear this type of comments. Or alternatively, I could, like, you know, I would need to go with someone, with some kind of like my man friends or something like that, so that, you know, if they see you that you're with another man, or if you're with a group of guys, then the other ones would also be like more respectful towards you. And so coming from that background, really like coming to Finland, I remember that I really wanted to. So high school was like a very specific experience and a very specific part of my life. But I remember that I would see Finnish girls dressing so nicely, you know, like with their makeup, with their lashes, with their clothes. Like, I just saw all of the Finnish girls and I was like, oh my God, they are all so beautiful. And I don't know, I felt like I was not kind of like fitting. So for a very long time, what I started to do is that I started just looking at the outfits, looking at what they wear, and I try kind of like, you know, to fit in. And in one of the like different things that I did when I was trying to fit in is that, well, you know, I also started to, you know, allow myself to wear maybe skirts, or to wear like dresses to school, or shorts. And what I found this one time, when I was wearing like a mini skirt and a shirt like similar to these, and like high heels, like boots with high heels, I felt myself that I was like the most beautiful woman on earth. Okay, maybe that's an exaggeration, but I felt myself like so pretty. And I also felt that I was wearing an outfit that if I were in Mexico, I probably would have. Of course, it depends on the city, it depends on the area. The area where I live, it's not like necessarily unsafe, but it's a small town, so it's not like you are in Mexico City where maybe, you know, there's more, depending again on the area. It's so relative to the area and to the place where you are. The point is that I was in Finland and I was wearing these mini skirt, as I was saying, and these like high heel boots and this type of shirt, and I was walking in the corridors of my high school, and then I went to the class and everything, and I noticed that the guys wouldn't look at me, like, you know, at least like, I know that there were some guys in Mexico that would be like just not respectful towards, you know, me in this specific case. But there would also, you know, be just like people, like when it makes you feel like, at least to me, it makes me feel good when people would just like look at you and you know that, you know, you are looking so nicely that you would attract, you know, the eyes, the looks of guys, of people. And that's something that was kind of like so common thinking back in Mexico. And now thinking about Finland, I was thinking that, you know, I was like a superstar and just like rocking my walk in the corridors of my high school. And just being plain unnoticed, I was like, what? Like, I really, people not like looking at me, like I put effort, like getting ready. I put effort trying to look like this. And while at the beginning I couldn't really understand it, I found it so nice the more I grew up, because obviously I asked to my friends, I talked to my friends, and they explained me like, you know, Jade, is that here, like, you know, yes, like, you know, you might be like really nice looking. Some guys might like, you know, turn and watch you, but you know, they grow up with the idea that, you know, of course you are allowed to dress as a woman however you want. And maybe like some guys will stare at you, but guys are taught to be respectful. And I don't know if it has to also do with the fact of the sauna culture and the nudity that, you know, showing more of your own body and seeing bodies since you are little, it's kind of like more normal. But I've always felt secure, safe, respected in Finland, regardless of the way that I am dressing. And this is something that I love about Finland, that you can dress the way you want. In the summer, you can even like have some kind of like a bikini part, like just in the upper part, and just be like that when it's like really hot, really sunny days. And that's totally fine. You can have your mini skirts or mini shorts that it's basically like you're showing your butt, and it's like safe. Like you don't have to feel worried that something's going to happen to you, or that you're gonna be disrespected, or that you're gonna be told things. And okay, well, I think that after so much blabbering, you did got the point. So that's one of the things that I 100% love about Finland. And I think that the last thing that I'm gonna tell for this video is the thing number 61, like, so the 61st thing that I love about Finland. And that's the love for hockey and the way in which they celebrate, like, you know, when they win the hockey championship. And actually, I am filming this video in July of 2022. And this year, actually, Finland was again a hockey world champion. And the celebrations are huge. So first, okay, so before I came to Finland, I loved football. Like, football was like, I never played it. Okay, yes, I tried to play it, but I wasn't really like good. But I love watching it. Like I'm the kind of like, if you are hanging out with someone and this someone plays football, it's something like really cool. I remember that a lot of the boyfriends that I had played football, either normal football or American football, and it's kind of like the thing. And when I came to Finland, I was surprised that of course they have like their own football teams and they have their own football matches, but the huge thing here is hockey. And wow, like the feeling that you get when you go to like a hockey stadium and you see the game, it's like so cool. And it's also like so weird because, you know, I would think that people would be shouting all the time, and it's not necessarily. Like, I feel at least when the first time that I went to a hockey game, I was a little bit weirded out because when there was like a goal, like the celebration was something like, eh. And that's all. It's like celebration and that's it. And then there were some kind of like, you know, cheering the team during the game and whatsoever, but it was nothing like too big. And I thought like, okay, well, it's the passion, like not as much, but no, the passion it's there and the love it's there. And especially I think that the more I stayed in Finland, the more I was able to comprehend it and comprehend the culture, that it's not just about going to, you know, like watch the games. It's also going to celebrate afterwards to the, you know, specific restaurant or a specific bar. For example, in my city in Kuopio, it's like so common that there would be like a hockey game and then people would go to celebrate to Amarillo. So yeah, like just really learning about the hockey culture in Finland. And when we talk about the World Championship, for me, this has been the third time actually that I have been in Finland when Finland has won a World Championship. The first one was when I was an exchange student, I believe in 2011. The second one was like 3 or 4 years ago. And then this one, this year was the third one that I have lived during my stay in Finland. And whenever Finland has won the championship, like there has been like songs created afterwards, cheers created afterwards, like YouTube videos. And on the time, like if the specific, you know, if there's a world championship and Finland wins the gold medal, like, yeah, like the first place, everyone would like basically say something in Finnish that it's called Torilla tavataan, which basically means we will meet in the tori or we will meet in the city centrum. Tori means city centrum. And like people, when Finland wins the world championship, as this year, as I mentioned, this year Finland won the hockey world championship. So if you see that and if you are here, you could like probably see what I am talking about. But people really just like go to the city centrum and are just, you know, in their cars with the windows open, talking to people and actually, you know, like shouting to, you know, to each other, but in a nice way. When I was just arriving to the centrum, I heard like this one guy was shouting to the other guy something like, Torille! And the other person was like answering something like, Nimen oma! And like just people shout, they undress, they go to the fountains, they start climbing in the like traffic lights, they climb to the statues, like they play music, they all meet each other, like it's such a huge celebration. And I mean, whenever it has happened, like I don't remember why I didn't go the last time to the city centrum to, you know, celebrate. Maybe because it was late. I don't remember what was really the reason. But this time, what I love is that when I know that the Finnish championship, like I mean the hockey championship, it's going on, and we see the final and Finland wins, it's like, you know, the going to the centrum type of vibe. It's something that you 100% do not want to miss. So yeah, I will stop for now, but stay tuned for the 5th part of this series. I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if you do so, please make sure to click on the like button, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!